All party in the matter of Demons versus Anise. Step forward, please.
22-year-old student Crystal Demons is suing her ex-boyfriend, 25-year-old truck driver Anthony Anise, for his share of a trip to Niagara Falls. Anthony is countersuing for unpaid rent.
Ms. Demons, the defendant was your boyfriend for a while. He's not your boyfriend anymore. And the two of you are squabbling at this point in your lives over a little bit of money. So I'm going to make very short shrift of this. And then I'm going to let you get on with your lives. How old are you?
22.
And you?
25.
It's your claim that he owes you some money for a trip you took together when you were still dating. He says he paid you for that trip, and he says you owe him money for rent. Right?
Right.
How long ago were you dating?
We dated from February to July.
And when was this trip that you took?
We took it in the beginning of April.
Where?
To Batavia, New York to see some of his friends.
And what was your arrangement?
The agreement was that we would put the charges on my credit card and he would pay me back the money for the charges. And his friends, because he knew them and everything, also gave us the hotel for a half price.
Were you living together in April?
No, we were not.
Is that right, sir?
No. Well, in the beginning it wasn't, but when I got the place, she moved in with me.
Were you living together in April or not?
No.
I'm going to keep this simple. So you weren't living together, and you wanted to go away for a weekend.
Yeah.
You didn't have money?
No, we both wanted to go away, not just me. And it wasn't just to go see my friends. It was to go to Niagara Falls.
Did you go to the falls?
Yeah.
Had you ever seen them before?
No.
And you?
I had seen them before.
You wanted to see them together?
Yes.
How much did it cost you?
A total of $220.85.
How much did you give her?
I gave her $150 in the end of June in cash.
Did he give you money?
I never received cash from him.
When I sold a truck, I gave her cash.
That was not for the trip.
Just a second. So you did receive cash from him?
Yes.
At the end of June?
It was not for the trip.
What was it for?
I had I got conjunctivitis. I work with kids, and I missed a month of work, and I was falling behind in my bills, and I was going to ask my father for help. Tony offered to give me a little bit of money towards some of my bills that are my regular bills. They had nothing to do with this trip. And he gave me that amount, and I went and I had asked my father for the remaining amount to pay my bills.
All right, so he gave you $150?
Yes.
Get over it. Now, you want me to deal with you and the rent you say she owes you? I'm listening.
Well, when she moved in, when I got a place...
When did she move in?
In the middle of May. She stayed with me until July 4th, and I kicked her out.
What happened July 4th?
I had a problem with her, so I kicked her out.
What kind of problem did you have?
A friend of mine caught her in someone's vehicle.
Okay, so
when she told me she was with somebody
you thought
else.
she was with somebody else?
She was with somebody else when she was supposed to be at her father's.
And what arrangement did you have in May when she moved in, sir?
You know, I really didn't have an arrangement with her. I'm only counseling because she's suing me.
So you really don't have a claim against her?
Not really, no.
Perfect, I love it. Easy. So your counterclaim is dismissed, right?
Okay.
Or you're withdrawing it because you really don't have a case. You just...
Well, I have no proof that...
It was nuisance. No, you just said to me you had no arrangement with her for rent.
No, I didn't. Because I told her don't worry about anything.
Then you had no claim. And I find that you did give her $150 because now she acknowledges that, which is enough to cover your share of the expenses for the trip to Niagara Falls. So your claim is dismissed. Goodbye, have a happy life, get over it, don't bother me.
He's accusing me of cheating on him because I got a ride home from a friend's house by a guy, and he had his friend follow me.
No, it's not. I mean, she was already sleeping over his house the day after, so...
He thinks I cheated on him, and he doesn't know his facts. He has no facts whatsoever, and he has no proof of anything.
I asked her where she was, and she proceeded to lie to me some more, saying she was at her father's, and she wasn't.
Oh, he had all my stuff packed up and ready for me, and I was like, save me a lot of work.
Amy Jimenez is suing her ex-boyfriend, 21-year-old customer service rep Ronnie Brooks, for damages due to an assault. Amy claims Ronnie kicked her car and then broke her cell phone when she tried to call 911.
Hello. It's hard to train him. Your Honor, this is case number 457 in the matter of Jimenez versus Brooks. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
My money's on you.
Okay.
Ms. Jimenez, this used to be your boyfriend. You claim he has a bad temper, and while you were in the midst of an argument, he kicked your car and then body slammed you on your car, causing damage to your car.
Yeah.
Now you're suing him for damage to the car, but not damage necessarily to your body, which causes me some pause, because to me, if somebody took me and threw me against a car, I would sue him for hurting me, but I guess your car is important. And also, you say in another fit of rage, he broke your cell phone.
Yeah.
Mr. Brooks says, well, he did in fact break the cell phone.
Yes, ma'am.
But he says with regard to the car, you were trying to run him down, and he merely tried to protect himself by trying to hold back 3,000 pounds with his foot. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When did this incident happen with your car, Miss Jimenez?
October 7th.
Where were you?
We were at my house.
How long had you been at your house?
About 3 minutes. We'd gotten into an argument right as we pulled up.
He was in your car?
He'd gotten out of the car and I was still in the car. And we'd gotten into an argument and I didn't want to get out of the car. I didn't want him to go into my house. So I told him I was going to take him home.
He was coming to your house for what?
To take a shower.
Why? He doesn't have a shower?
His shower didn't have a shower curtain, and I guess he liked my shower better.
His shower didn't have a shower curtain?
Yeah.
How do you do that, sir?
Oh, we just took baths.
You just took baths in your house?
Yeah.
Why don't you buy a shower curtain?
Lazy, I guess.
How long have you lived in this house without a shower curtain?
It was like 2 months.
2 months without a shower curtain?
Yes, ma'am.
Who lives there?
Well, it was just me and my brother at the time.
Did you used to live with your mother?
Yes, ma'am.
And your father?
Yes, ma'am.
Did they have a shower curtain?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So he was coming to your house to take a shower because he got tired of taking baths at his house.
Yeah.
He probably got tired because if he didn't have a shower curtain and only took baths, I guarantee you that he didn't clean the bathtub.
That's not true.
That is true.
She's lying.
No. Anybody that doesn't have time to buy a shower curtain doesn't have time to rub-a-dub-dub scrubbing out the bathtub. Anyway, okay. So you picked him up to take him to your house to take a shower. You got into an argument in the car. He got out of the car. You didn't want to get out of the car. You wanted to drive him home.
Yeah. Somehow my roommate got involved into this argument, and he went up to the house to confront my roommate, and he assaulted my roommate. And then after that, he came back out, assaulted me, and then...
Well, tell me how he assaulted you.
He pushed me to the ground and kicked me in the leg.
What was the fight about?
That he used me.
Used you?
Yeah.
Used you for what?
Well, he didn't have a car, you know, he didn't have very much money, and I was pretty much there for him.
Okay. So he threw you down on the ground and he kicked you twice. Go ahead.
He continued to follow me around, so I went and got in my car, and he continued to yell at me while I was in my car, and then he started...
What was he yelling?
I wasn't paying attention. I was just too disturbed by what he'd just done to me. And so I just sat in my car, and he kicked the hood, and then he kicked the side panel twice. And I have pictures here of the damages that he did.
That's not true, Your Honor. This didn't happen at her house. This happened at my house.
That's not true. She was telling the truth. She picked you up from your house without a shower curtain and took you to her house that did have a shower curtain to take a shower.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go into the house and take a shower?
No, I had gotten into a fight with her roommate.
Okay, about what?
Because he said that I was using her. So I went up to the door, and I asked him if he said something, and he said he did. So he was walking away, and I kept following him, and then I hit him.
You hit him?
Yeah.
What are you, nuts?
No, ma'am.
Where did you hit him?
Well, I didn't really hit him. I kind of put... He was...
He hit him
as
in
he
the head.
Shh. She's lying.
No, look, just a minute. You just said you hit him.
Well, I pushed him in the back of his head as he was walking away. You know, kind of like that.
Not true.
Yeah, it is. And after that, we went into the backyard. We argued for a minute.
Who argued?
Me and him.
Well, I certainly would argue with you. I'd probably call the police. And then you got back into the car?
And she took me home.
So what happened when you got home?
Well, we got home. We were going to go out that night. I said I didn't want to go to the club she wanted to go, so she got mad. She was in her brother's car at the time. She thought I stole her keys. She kept coming over there after she went home from the club. My witness is right here. Okay, she was cussing, just ran into my house, didn't knock or anything, just walked in. We're in there chilling, you know. She said, "Where are my keys? Where are my keys?" I said, "I don't have your keys." She leaves and comes back, leaves and comes back. She does this like 3 times, okay? Finally, she comes back with her car. And she said, "Where's my keys? Where are my keys?" She's drunk, by the way. I said, "Dude, you're stupid. If I have your keys, how are you in your car?" Okay, so I had
That's
to...
right. He said, "Dude, you're stupid." Is that what you said?
That's exactly what I said. So I had to physically take her out of my house to put her in the car. Okay, as I did that, she was backing up. She backed up like this, and then she went forward like she was going to hit me. And I kicked the car. I did kick the car, but she was trying to hit me.
But she wasn't in the car when she did that.
Yeah,
That was my brother's car. That was not my car.
I had put her in the car.
You would put her in the car?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Brooks, how long was Miss Jimenez your girlfriend?
2.5, 3 months, maybe.
Did you like her?
Yeah.
Why would you put her in her car if she was drunk?
Because she wouldn't get out of my house.
Weren't you concerned that maybe she would hurt herself driving around drunk in the car?
Yes, ma'am, but she does that all the time anyway. She always drives around drunk. Every time we go to the club, we're both drunk and she drives.
That makes you Dumb and Dumber. If you get into the car with somebody who's driving while they're intoxicated, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, why are you so stupid?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I mean, we both drive drunk. I mean, I know how to drive when I'm drunk. I don't know.
You don't have any children or anything, do you?
Well, I do have a daughter.
Oh, I was going to suggest you not do that. Now, you want to talk to me?
Okay.
Tell me your name.
My name is Derek.
Derek, you have a last name.
Villanueva.
Villanueva.
Yes, ma'am.
Did I pronounce that well?
That's fine.
But, so if I wasn't so good at pronouncing your last name, we'll just call you Derek.
That's fine.
Derek, were you a witness to this incident that happened on October the 7th?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me where you were, Derek.
I was in Ronnie's house, sitting on the couch, playing the PlayStation.
Everybody's got a PlayStation. PlayStation he has, shower curtain he doesn't have.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. As says, her ex-boyfriend, Ronnie Brooks, owes for kicking a dent into her car and for breaking her cell phone. Ronnie says Amy was drunk on the night in question.
Go ahead.
Well, first I heard a noise to the left, and it was a foot coming through the door. That would be her foot. So Ronnie took her to the car. Well, like he said, she tried to run over him whenever she backed up and then came forward, and that's what I had seen. I also saw them yelling at each other, but I didn't see him hit her.
He didn't hit her.
No, ma'am.
Because I read her complaint, and her complaint doesn't say he hit her.
That was because his friends were around that time.
Well, I mean,
His friends weren't around him when you filled out this complaint, madam.
Ma'am, she was also drunk, so, I mean, she doesn't even remember me.
Oh, you kicked her car.
I kicked it, yeah, but she tried to run me over.
Yeah, but you kicked it on the side.
He also slammed me on the hood
Shut-
several times.
I made one dent
He
on
did
that
only
car.
kick it once.
I only kicked it one time.
You kicked it once.
One time.
Very good. Because these pictures were taken 2.5 months later, right?
They were. My father took those pictures because I did not have a camera at the time.
Well, that's too bad. 2.5, almost 3 months later, you don't bring pictures in of a car.
Your Honor, I filed the police report later on, like a month later. I was terrified of
A
Ronnie.
month later?
He promised me he was going to fix my car, and I was waiting for him to fix it. I went over to his house several times.
Just a second, Mr. Brooks.
Yes, ma'am.
I tend to believe the fact that you kicked her car, and I tend to believe the fact that she was drunk.
Yes, ma'am.
I believe you, because otherwise she would have filed this police report the next day if it happened the way she said it happened. She waited a month, something happened, and I don't know, we even know whether you saw each other socially during that month. Did you or did you not?
Yes, ma'am. About 2 or 3 weeks afterwards, we did.
Where did you go 2 or 3 weeks afterwards?
She always went to my house after that happened.
I have to go to his house because he doesn't have a car.
You mean after this happened, you went to his house?
His roommate lived with him, and I knew if there's other
wasn't
people around,
there.
he wouldn't
Just a
hurt me.
second. I don't care whether his roommate was there or not. You're making this up as you're going along, Miss Jimenez.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are, because if you're terrified of somebody, you don't go to their house. That's not what happens. You stay away from them, whether their roommate is there or not.
I was trying
Now,
to get
how-
my car fixed, Your Honor.
Oh, please, give me a break, will you please? Tell me about how you broke her cell phone, sir.
Well, that was at her house whenever I had just got through getting to that confrontation with her roommate. She didn't want to take me home at first, and my clothes were in her car, so I just told her to open her car, and I would walk home. Okay, she didn't want to, so I just grabbed her cell phone and threw it across the parking lot.
And how much did you pay for your cell phone?
She
80.
didn't. She got another one free.
Did you get another one free?
Yes, that's what
My
you
friend
told me
bought
last
me another
week.
cell phone because I couldn't afford to get another cell phone.
Okay. Now, how much do you think it's going to cost to pull out the dents in this car?
For the particular part that I kicked, $400, because she had showed me the estimate. She went to my house and showed me, and I said I'd pay for that.
Perfect. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $480. $400 for the kick to the car and $80 for the cell phone. Stay away from each other. Stay away from him.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
And by the way, one more thing. The entire world knows that the two of you now drive drunk. So if you get behind the wheel of a car and kill somebody, it's not an accident anymore. Do we understand each other?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand me? Perfect.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
My roommate told me that he thought Ronnie was using me.
He didn't have a job, and she was taking him everywhere, and I told her that he was the one that was using her.
Ronnie did use me. He's scum. He's very violent.
No more. That's over.
26-year-old account specialist Beatrice Turrieta is suing her mother, tanning salon owner Beatrice Coleman, for having her falsely arrested and for the return of her belongings.
All rise. Yeah, this is case number 470 on the calendar in the matter of Turrieta versus Coleman. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have a seat.
Ms. Turrieta, this is your mom.
Yes.
And you're suing her for a couple of things. First, you were living with her and her boyfriend. I assume this is the boyfriend?
Yes, it is.
For a while. You and your husband?
Yes.
And children?
My baby.
Your
My
baby?
6-month-old
My
son.
child. And there was some sort of a disagreement, a dispute. You left the house and you claim that your mother still has some of your property.
Yes.
That's one. Number two, you claim that your mother falsely reported to the police that you had stolen a credit card from her.
Correct.
And you were arrested.
Yes.
Your mom says that she has none of your property, and I don't understand her defense with regard to the credit card. Is what you're saying, Ms. Coleman, that you didn't call the police, but your boyfriend called the police?
Exactly.
Okay. Now, when did you and your husband and baby move in with your mother?
April 2004.
Why?
My mom didn't raise me. My father raised me from when I was 3 and my brother was 1 in New York. And I talked to my mom maybe 3 or 4 times a year for my whole life. She asked us to come there and come visit her, so I brought my son and we came to visit. I visited for about a month, and she said, why don't you come here with...
Well, what was your husband doing when you were visiting for
He
a
was
month?
still at work in North Carolina, where I'm from.
Okay, go ahead.
And then we were there for about a month, and John had come to visit 2 weekends, and she said, you should come here, save up all of your money, live with us, and you can save up enough money and get a house and come live here. So we did.
Where is here?
To Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay.
And things were pretty normal and good for a little while.
Did your husband find a job?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
And I got a job at the end of August. After that, I think things went downhill from there. She was watching my son while I was going to work, and he had diaper rash almost every week to the point where his butt was bleeding, and I had to fix it every weekend.
Can you tell me on what day you moved out?
October 16th.
Had there been an argument?
Yes.
About what?
They came home, they had been drinking. My brother was back from Iraq with his wife, and they came into the house and they were stomping and slamming doors and screaming. And I asked my brother, I was like, can you be quiet? My son is sleeping. And he stood up and he was like, I don't have to be quiet, I don't have to do anything. And then Ron came up behind him and he was like, this is my house and this is my rules, and if you don't like it, you can get out. And he was screaming and acting like a psycho, so I went and got my husband. And he got in my husband's face and tried to start a fight with him and said, come on, big boy, come on, big boy. You want to do something?
I got it. So things were, so you left that night?
Yes. And she came into my bedroom and she brought her purse with her. She took out her wallet and she opened it up and she went to looking through her credit cards and she went to give me the black one that I use sometimes, and then she goes, oh, you have my GM card, why don't you just use that one? Get a week at the hotel, and I'll get you somewhere to live. At the end of the week, I'll get you somewhere to live.
Well, why would she get you somewhere to live if you were working and your husband was working?
Because she felt bad because we had moved there.
You had the credit card?
Correct.
Ms. Coleman, how did she get the credit card?
She had it. She was going to obtain some Barbie dolls for me at her job.
She gave it to me.
Just a second. When did you give her your credit card?
Probably 2 weeks prior to her leaving the house.
Does that sound familiar to you?
She gave me the card almost every day, all the time, for gas, cigarettes, everything.
How many times did she use the credit card? If I were to look at the slips from the credit card company, how many times before October had she used the credit card?
Probably about 6.
And would you give it to her each time, or was it in her possession?
Usually.
Not usually. Was it in her possession?
She kept it. She kept it. She kept it.
She kept it.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I'm going to get to the truth.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I would like to see the police report that was filled out with regard to the credit card. Well, first of all, Mrs. Coleman, you filled out this police report. This is in your handwriting.
Yes, they made me.
Nobody makes you do anything, and you say here that she used it without my knowledge or permission.
Right.
Who made you? Your boyfriend?
No, no. When the sheriff came to the house,
Why did the sheriff come to the house?
because he had checked our account online, and she had used
Who
it.
had?
My husband.
Yeah.
And she had used it at the motel room, charging $309. She went 3 different times in a matter of hours to the Meijer at the bottom of the hill and went on a shopping spree. Okay.
And charged what?
Energy drinks, men's boxer shorts, women's bras, conditioner, shampoos, all the stuff that she brought the policeman to the house to get that night.
Miss Coleman, I don't understand something, madam. I mean, I hear you talking about all the things that she charged on this. You're not talking about a lot of money. They all look like emergency things that one would use if they were staying temporarily someplace that they needed interimly, especially when you have a baby.
Right.
And you knew she had the card, and she had had the card before.
Right.
Don't you think the smarter idea, rather than involving the police in this, was after you went online and saw that she had charged the hotel room and charged the other thing, to call the credit card company and say, listen, my daughter has the card. She's not authorized to use it anymore. I want to stop the use of the card. Do not let it be used again.
Prior to this, she had went to my salon and was mad at her husband, charged $680 some worth of tanning products. My husband and her had gotten to a confrontation over it, and he told her, you are not allowed to use this credit card unless your mother gives you permission. He said, because if you use this without my knowledge, he said, I will file a complaint on you.
Don't you think that it would have been smarter, more maternal, if you say to whatever his first name is, Joe, she's my daughter, she left the house, she's got my grandson with her, we don't want her to use the card anymore, just call the company and tell them, shut off the card. I don't want to involve the police, I don't want her to be arrested. Did you say that to him?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did he say?
Well, he said that he had already told her that she was not allowed to use it. And before she brought it back, minutes before she came to my house with the policeman standing there, she stopped and got a pack of cigarettes at the corner store.
You think he did the right thing?
No, ma'am.
You think you did the right thing?
Yes.
You did the wrong thing.
We attempted to take it back.
No. Your girlfriend says that you told her you can hold on to it, but if you use it again without your mother's permission or my permission, I'm going to call the police. And I'm saying, is she lying to me?
No.
Well, and I'm saying to you, if you didn't want the temptation there, you should have taken the credit card back. But you don't put her in a situation where she's got a baby and the police come to the motel and take her away and arrest her. That can stop a process going from which it's very hard to extricate yourself. Very stupid. But they were entitled to do it. And I somehow think that your mother is sorry that it happened. She's sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
I know.
You got it?
I know.
Okay. What does your mother have in the house that belongs to you?
I have pictures of some of this stuff, and then I wrote a list of all the things
Let
that
me
she
see.
has. And I called her and asked for his high chair, and she said, when I was in the hotel, because I said he was eating on the bed, and she said, well, he needs his high chair. And I said, I want my caricature and the calendar of him that I've been making of him since I was born. And she said, you know, I don't think I have those things. All I want is some respect. And she said, Ron's going to take care of it from here and threw the phone down.
Okay. You have these things?
I see she showed you a little picture of a toy box that Nicholas is in. That's mine. I bought everything that she's talking about, and I have receipts. I have $10,000 worth of receipts. Mr. Turietti was asked if he had got everything out. He said, yes, he did. He looked at me and said, all's in there is garbage. I can go down to my job, get a truck, come up and throw all that garbage away if you want me to. I said, don't worry about it, John.
Step
I'll
up,
clean
sir.
it up.
Did you go to the house?
Yes, Your Honor. I went on...
With or
Monday
without the police?
With the police.
Fine.
And before we walked in, they wouldn't let us in the house until they had the credit card and a key to the tanning salon. She had to come up from the hotel. We gave them back the credit card, but we are not allowed to go anywhere in the house except the bedroom. Our stuff was in the basement, in another closet.
There's a lot of junk here.
Yes, Your Honor.
All of this doesn't add up to the motel room, right?
Right.
So what are you doing here?
I want the calendar that I've been making of my son since he was born. There's no, you cannot put a price on that. I put pictures of
Okay,
them.
do you have the calendar?
No, ma'am. And if it wasn't all that garbage, and what I had done was bought cases
Do you have
of
the
Pampers.
calendar? The
No,
answer is
ma'am.
no. She doesn't have the calendar.
That's just to hurt me. That's just to keep things from me that are
She
of
doesn't
my
have it.
son's.
Listen, you used a credit card, and I think that you probably knew that you weren't supposed to use the credit card at the time when you used it, whether you did or whether you didn't. What he had to pay for as a result of your using the credit card is more than this.
They didn't pay for anything. That's why my case was dismissed on January 21st, because they could not provide the receipts because they didn't pay the bill.
Oh, really?
Really.
Is that right?
You would have to ask Ron about that. We did pay. The reason it was dropped is I'm going through some cancer treatments. I didn't feel like going to, I couldn't. I was throwing
All
up.
I want to know is, did you pay for the motel?
We've reported it to the credit card company
They did not.
as a misuse of the credit card.
So the answer is you didn't.
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today, Beatrice Turrieta says her mother, Beatrice Coleman, had her falsely arrested for credit card theft. Beatrice says her mother gave her that card.
You bought certain things for your grandson. Toy box?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. High chair?
No, ma'am. I don't have the toy, but I didn't. Oh, that's a walker, yes. But I don't have that. They have that.
Yeah.
But this you have.
Yes, ma'am.
You want this?
I don't have that other thing.
Just listen to me. Do you want this?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You have any problem with them having that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. If you want to go over there in the company of a peace officer within 5 days, you can get those things. Understood?
Understood.
Very good. Thank you very much. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I was born to that, who I haven't seen since I was 3, and I will never see again.
I would have still give her the $3,000 if that's what she wanted.
She's not a mother. She doesn't know how to be a mother. She never will be a mother.
When she came to my house, she asked my husband where his connection was for cocaine. So I'm sure that's probably what she needed it for. Either that or a gallon of Captain Morgan every week.
I do like Captain Morgan, but I'm a little fat to be on the coke. You think?
She's been in prison before for
Sponsor,
welfare
actually.
fraud.
I was in jail. I was, and I've made mistakes in my life.
My dad told me I was selling my soul to the devil when I came to her house, and he was right.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Della Vega versus Della Vega, step forward, please.
State worker Anna Della Vega is suing her ex-husband, mailman Patrick Della Vega, for the return of a dresser and a ring. Patrick says the dresser was a gift and the ring was for their engagement.
Mrs. Della Vega, is this your son?
Yes, he is.
How old is he?
17.
Your son's name is?
Randall?
Does Randall have a relationship with his father?
No, he does not.
So he is not his father?
He is not his father.
Okay. Good. I just wanted to make sure, because I usually don't like children in here, to hear it if parents are squabbling. You and Mr. Della Vega were married and then divorced, and several years later got back together again, according to your complaint, and decided to try your relationship out again, and he moved into your home. That didn't work out, and it is your claim that he took from you when he moved out some furniture that belonged to you, that he refuses to return, as well as a ring that he had purchased for you as a gift. Mr. Della Vega says that the furniture that he took was furniture that you left in the apartment, just a dresser, and that the ring was an engagement ring, and therefore it was his, and he took it. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When were you divorced?
1986, September.
And when did you get back together again?
September 25th, 1998, he showed up on my doorstep with his clothes.
Okay. And you hadn't seen him in all that time?
We had been talking since December of 1997.
And when did you separate?
March 17th, 2003.
Tell me about this piece of furniture. What is it?
It was a chest of drawers, cherry wood, that I bought on sale at Montgomery Ward's. And
when did you buy it?
In 2000.
Okay, how much did you pay for it?
I'm estimating the value of $300 because I don't actually have the receipt. I couldn't find the receipt.
Did he leave or did you leave?
I left because we had been to counseling in 2002 and it had
Didn't
broken
work
down.
out. So March 2003
And
you
I had
left.
asked him to leave and he would not.
So you left. What about all the furniture in the apartment?
I left everything there because he threatened to take my son, our son.
Okay, so you left everything there and you never retrieved it?
I came back, yes, a couple of days later with a moving van.
Okay, because I thought you were taking all the stuff. So you came back with a moving van. Was he home?
Yes, he was, actually.
And you took all the furniture. Tell me what furniture you took.
I took major pieces of furniture.
And the only thing that you left that you now say you want is the chest of drawers. Now tell me about this ring.
My ex-husband was never really good at buying me gifts for Christmas, for birthdays. It was extremely rare that he would even remember to buy me a card. So in July of 2001, he was trying to make it up to me. So he asked me what I wanted. I said, I want a nice ring. So we went looking. He said, okay, you pick out whatever you want, and I'll pay for it.
You have it?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it, please.
And I didn't initially know that the ring was gone. He told me by
Just a second. Well, I didn't ask you any
sorry.
questions. July of 2001. And tell me, did you buy this ring with him, or did he surprise you with it?
No, we went together shopping because he wanted me to pick out whatever it was that I wanted.
Okay, now in July of 2001, is that a birthday? Is that
my birthday is in July 7th. And the ring was purchased July 8th. And I do have
You
the
have the receipt?
I have the receipt.
I'd like to see it. Well, it was certainly purchased around her birthday, sir, right?
Fine, yes.
Good. Now, Mr. De La Vega, when for the first time between July 2001 and March of 2003 did you start to plan a wedding?
We didn't. We just talked about it. We mentioned it, and stuff like that. In fact, we were looking for a home.
Oh. What else did you buy for her between July of 2001 and March of 2003?
Oh, nothing. Gifts and stuff like that.
Well, that's what I'm asking. You said gift. What did you buy her?
I gave her money and paid for stuff. I can't remember what I bought her, but...
Nothing.
Give her ring back. Mr. De La Vega, let me explain something to you, sir. An engagement ring is not given, in my judgment, Mr. De La Vega, when you've had a smorgasbord of emotions. You've had a marriage, a divorce, a rekindling, another baby, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You've had a birthday, you've had an anniversary, and then you say, well, I'm going to give you an engagement ring. After I've known you for 25 years.
No,
Do you understand, Mr. De La Vega?
Yes, well, we're divorced.
It doesn't work that way, sir. Doesn't work that way. You bought the ring, and if it's the only thing that you can remember having bought for your former wife in 25 years, consider it, sir, a very small token. Now, Mrs. De La Vega, I'm going to get to the rest of your complaint. The rest of your complaint is for an old 4-year-old dresser that you haven't had in your possession for over a year, that you left in the apartment that you shared with him.
Yes.
Forget it.
Thank you.
Do you understand?
Okay.
Forget it. You got the ring? Be a happy girl.
I'm happy.
Good. He says goodbye. I say goodbye. Be
God
well.
bless.
Enjoy. God bless.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He stole from me, and it was the principle of the thing. I told him that. He was a thief.
She just got jealous because she seen with another woman. She figured maybe I was going to give it to her. That's all it is. Jealousy, jealousy, jealousy.
You can't believe anything Mr. De La Vega says. Anything that comes out of his mouth cannot be believed.
Everything was fine until she seen me with a younger woman. Just jealousy.
He claims it's on my part. It's on his part. He's the one that's jealous.
I hope she gets on with her life because I did. She told me she did, so I did too.
His ex-fiancée, insurance broker Stephanie Martell, for the return of an engagement ring and for stealing from his bank account while he was in jail.
Your Honor, this is case number 86 on the calendar in the matter of Balzolari versus Martel. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks have seats.
Mr. Balzolari, you and the defendant were engaged to be married and lived together.
That's correct.
Unfortunately, you were incarcerated for a period of time, a drug-related charge, and then went into rehab. And it is your claim that during that period of time, Miss Martel cleaned you out, took your property, took your money, broke up, and she won't return a very expensive engagement ring as well. Miss Martel said all of that money was used to pay your bills, to pay for things for you while you were incarcerated, and she had to sell the engagement ring in order to pay those bills. Right?
Right.
Okay. When did you become engaged?
Your Honor, that was approximately 4/20. I'd purchased the ring. Here's a picture and a receipt. It was shortly after that we became engaged. And,
April 20th.
Yes, somewhere around that time.
Of what year?
02.
When was the wedding supposed to take place?
There was no
Mr.
date set.
What were you waiting for?
I don't know. For us both to agree on a certain date and, you know.
Okay. So you became engaged in April of 2002 and you were living together.
Yes.
When were you incarcerated?
It wasn't a drug. I'd like to correct that, Your Honor. That wasn't a drug-related charge. It was a felony charge. It was an impersonation charge is what that was. It wasn't a drug. I agreed to go into a drug court system.
Explain that to me, sir. You were convicted of what?
Criminal impersonation of a police officer. It was a felony charge, which at that time I was volunteered in a drug court in Rochester, New York.
Well, what did criminal impersonation have to do with drugs, sir? Why would you be placed in a drug court? I'll get to you in a second.
I was in...
If you can't give me the answer, because I'm going to get to the answer. If you can't give me the answer, I'll allow you to help me.
Okay, thank you.
All right?
Before I had that charge, Your Honor, I was in a voluntary drug outpatient program.
Okay.
And during that time when the judge seen that, at that time I picked up the charge, she says, well, if you continue to stay sober and clean and continue your drug treatment program, we will dismiss the charge. And I failed to stay clean. So he incarcerated me and asked me if I wanted to do the time or do I want to help myself and change.
Mr. Borzelli, is what you're telling me, sir, that you pled guilty to criminal impersonation as a felony? The judge allowed you to remain at liberty as long as you were in a drug rehab program and remain drug-free. Is that what you're telling me?
No, there was no plea. My choice was...
Can I see those papers, please?
This was my whereabouts. The judge says, if you stay clean, we'll drop the charges and we're going to put you in drug court. Simple. If you stay clean for a year, we drop your charges. Conditional discharge.
Now I'll hear you, because this doesn't sound all right to me.
Exactly. We were friends. This is before we started dating. He was caught downtown in a well-known drug hotel impersonating a police officer. They forced him to go into drug court. It wasn't voluntary for him.
And then I assume that as part of this agreement that you had with the judge, you tested positive for drugs at some point?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you went into jail. And you went into jail, according to this,
The
on the
11th.
12th of January, 2004, to the 20th of February, 2004.
Correct.
So for a little more than 6 weeks.
Correct.
Okay. And is it during that time that you claim that Miss Martel cleaned you out?
Oh, yes.
Okay. During that 6-week period?
No, not entirely.
Well, when?
Well, cleaning out, I don't know where the cleaning out comes from, but I have a telephone bill. When she moved in, Your Honor, she was 6 months behind in her mortgage. She says, I want to get away from my ex-husband.
When are you talking about? What year?
02, when she moved in.
I'm not
with me.
interested in 02. Pay careful attention to me.
What are you interested in?
1/12/04 until 2/20/04.
Okay.
Period.
Here's a bill. She agreed to pay my phone bill, never did.
Mr. Borzelli?
Yes.
Get to it, sir.
Get to it?
Yes. I'm not
Phone
interested
bill,
in the phone bill.
cable bill she didn't pay. Here's the pictures I have from my house.
I'm not interested in whether she didn't pay bills for 6 weeks, sir.
Okay, so what are you interested in?
Well,
I have a bill here, Your Honor.
It was
my home that I paid
I'm
somebody.
Speaking, sir.
Go ahead.
You're asking me, and I'm telling you. It
Okay.
was my impression, sir, that what you were suing her for were two things. Personal property and reimbursement of money taken without authorization is what
Okay.
you're suing for, plus the return or value of the engagement ring.
Okay, thank you. Right here, Your Honor, is a receipt from a $2,180 check. Mr. Grimes here, my witness, is cashed it, gave her $2,180. She only paid a mortgage payment of $960, and that's all. I have missing money.
So is what you're telling me that she cashed a check for $2,000
Yes,
and that
ma'am.
was your money?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct?
Yes.
and that she didn't pay sufficient amount of bills to cover that $2,100.
Yes.
Okay. She paid $900 in a mortgage. She did pay that
Yes,
for
she
that
did.
period
Almost
of time.
$1,000.
Here's the receipt, ma'am. It's
How much is the mortgage?
It was
The
almost
mortgage-
$1,000.
Excuse me. I have a receipt.
Just tell me how much it was.
$979.
Okay, so that's
For the
close to
mortgage.
$1,000. So that's
Thank you.
$979
Yes.
out of $979 out of the $2,100 that she cashed. Okay, what else did you pay for out of that money?
$600 of Rochester Gas and Electric.
Your Honor, I have a receipt here for $1,000. She didn't pay squat. Or nothing, I should say.
Mr. Borzelli, put down your paper, sir. Okay, where's the other $600?
$200 from, this is what I wanted to say before, in December of 2002, he was incarcerated for a positive drug test. He went to jail for a week. I had $200 for that week of collect calls. When he went to jail the next time,
I'm not interested in 2002. What else?
commissary money I brought to the jail.
How much?
I believe $80.
Okay, little bits of money. Let's talk about the engagement ring. Gave you an engagement ring. Clearly, it is an engagement ring. It's a
Yes.
solitaire. Where is it?
I sold it.
Did you?
Yes.
When? Look at me.
February.
Don't look in the air.
February of this year.
Show me. Show me.
I don't have
You
a
sell a
receipt.
$14,000 ring. You have a receipt. You have something.
I sold it to a family jeweler.
I don't believe you. You're lying to me. Because if you sold it to a family jeweler and you knew you were coming to court, you would have said to the jeweler, "Can I have a receipt for the ring that I sold?"
I could have, yes.
Well, where did you think you were coming today? To a tea dance?
No.
You were coming to court.
Right.
Court takes evidence. You're full of baloney.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Robert Borzelli says ex-fiancée Stephanie Martell owes for the return of money and an engagement ring. Stephanie claims she sold the ring to pay bills while Robert was locked up.
Okay, it wasn't your ring. Now, even if you sold it, you had no right to sell it. It was your ring only if the contract to get married to Mr. Borzelli was consummated. It was not. The ring is given as a gift in contemplation of a marriage. Your argument is that you had to sell the ring to pay off bills. What bills did you have to pay off? What?
To maintain,
bill?
he asked me to stay in his house and to maintain his
6
house.
weeks. What
Right.
bills did you have to pay in 6 weeks that he did not cover with the $2,100 that you took out of his account?
I had to come up with money to move out of the house.
That's your problem. Are you over 18?
Yes.
Deal with it. That's your problem. That's not his problem. What?
I was just going to say that first and foremost...
Say something by standing up.
Sure.
What?
First and foremost, she was responsible enough to do what she had to do to take the engagement ring and sell it to her family jeweler.
I don't believe her, and I don't believe you. She did not sell this ring to a family jeweler, because if she did, the jeweler is responsible by law to give her a receipt. Do you understand?
I do understand.
And this wasn't a little ring for $300. This was a solitaire, which she paid over $14,000 for. And if you expect me to believe that she sold that ring in February to pay bills for him, which is what she alleges in his answer, I don't buy it.
That's
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000, which is the maximum that I can award to you, sir. I want you to listen to me very carefully. You can put everything else away. I'm not interested at all about any other money she owes you, because the ring covers it. Do you understand?
Clearly.
I assume that you sued her in small claims court because it's the only way that you thought you'd get any money at all, and you wouldn't have to hire a lawyer to sue her civilly anyplace else. You are entitled to that ring back, because an engagement ring is not an absolute gift until the marriage is fulfilled, and it was never fulfilled, right?
Yes.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff. Out.
Parties are excused.
It's wrong on his part. The reason we didn't get married was his actions.
I gotta hand it to Miss Martell. I really do. She's very consistent. Every time her lips move, there's a lie.
I didn't want to be with him anymore, and he was upset by that.
You've heard the deal saying, good pet's gone bad. Well,
He was threatening me because I wanted to move out for a while for him to straighten up.
how threatening am I? 140 pounds, 5'4". Ooh.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Nunemaker versus Nunemaker, step forward, please.
Salesman Bruce Nunemaker is suing his son, truck driver Shad Nunemaker, for unpaid credit card charges. Shad claims he's never stopped making payments.
Mr. Nunemaker, this is your son.
Yes.
According to what I read in your complaint, 2 years ago, your son ran into some difficulty with a truck that he owned for business. And the truck broke down, requiring a substantial amount of repairs. You loaned him the money to make... Stop playing with your papers. You loaned him the money to make the repairs on your truck through your credit card. There was an agreement that he would pay you back, and he had been making the payments faithfully on your credit card from 2002 until March of 2004. So far, am I correct?
Yes.
Is that right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And then he stopped making the payments. You want at least part of the balance of what is owed because the maximum in this court is $5,000. The defendant says that you breached the agreement with you with regard to repayment of this loan, so the loan was null and void. And he'll explain that to me in a moment. When, in 2002, was this loan made?
May 2nd of 2002.
And under what circumstances was it made?
Shad was on a trip. He drives over the road, and during the trip, he was outside of Colorado, about 150 miles outside of Denver, rather, in Grand Junction, Colorado, and he called me and said that his truck, the engine had blown.
What kind of truck did you have, sir?
It's a Freightliner. I have a photo here.
I'd like to see it.
That's the exterior and then,
Okay.
interior.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
He told me on the phone that he was unable to arrange his own financing for the $12,000 engine in his truck, and without that, he was out of work.
Now, tell me, sir, why did you stop making payments? You were making the payments to your father.
Ma'am, I never stopped making payments. As a matter of fact, I have a copy of all of my checks, and I also have a copy of check number 619 for $247.54, which I just called yesterday, and my bank says it has not cleared, which tells me that for some reason or another, Bruce does not want to cash the check.
Did you receive a check that you did not cash, sir?
I cashed it a couple days ago, yes.
So you did cash it?
I did.
Just a few days ago. So what are you doing here?
That was a check for March. At the time of our separation, he was living with me in my home.
I understand that.
And it came to a point where we came to some conflict.
I understand that. And he moved out, and he moved out. You told him to move out, and he was angry. But you just cashed a check, sir, that he paid for, and he said he's paid for the truck, and he intends to continue to honor the agreement. So what are you doing here?
That's not true.
What's not true?
The truth of the matter is that he sent me a check after we separated on March 19th. Sent me a check for partial payment on the March payment. At the day that we separated, when the papers were served by the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department, he verbalized that, and prior to that too, that I would never see the rest of that money.
Well, he was speaking out of the top of it, he was speaking out of anger because he acknowledges that this is his debt, and he's acknowledged that in open court. Is that right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. You understand, Mr. Nunemaker, that if you fail, now that we have an acknowledged debt, it doesn't have to be in writing anymore. It's an acknowledged debt under oath.
With no stipulations?
So, listen to me. It's an acknowledged debt under oath. You understand that if you fail to pay this debt, your father has a lien on your truck. Do you understand that? I want you to understand that.
No, I don't know that.
Well, then I am telling you that. Your father has a lien on your truck should you fail to pay it. It's exactly the same thing as if you had a written contract with him, a written loan agreement with him. Do I make myself clear?
Thus far, yes.
Good. I suggest, sir, that you make those payments on time every month.
Ma'am?
Yes.
May I add something? It's very important. Before I moved out, I told him that if he breached our agreement, he would not see it. And he said, that's fine. I'll take the loss to get you out of my life.
What are you talking about breach? Tell me.
The agreement was that I would continue to make payments and still live in his house and do my studies.
Well, that's what you wrote in your answer that I didn't believe when I read it in your answer. Are you telling me, sir, that when you called your father from the road in May of 2002 and said, Dad, I blew the engine on my truck and I don't have the finances to fix it. Can you lend me the money? And your father said yes. And what you want me to believe is, and you said to your father, and I will pay you back as long as you are nice to me, watch your temper, let me live in your house and continue my studies. And your father said yes, under those conditions I will, without speaking! Under those conditions, I will give you the $12,000. Is that what you want me to believe? Get a life.
We did not make an agreement, ma'am.
Listen to me, sir.
We did not discuss an agreement.
Listen to me, sir. I've just advised your son. Under oath, your son has acknowledged this loan to you. There were no conditions on the loan. I find that there were no conditions on the loan. I will enter an order that should he miss 2 payments, you have leave to enter a judgment against him in the amount of the balance owed on the truck, and you may enter a lien against that truck in order to execute on it. You can sell it. Do you understand?
I do. What about the 2
months?
Goodbye. He has issues from his childhood that he's still trying to work through.
The animosity began, I don't know, years and years ago when he developed a chemical imbalance.
Chad left us once before for 3 years. We didn't know if he was alive or dead.
Bruce said that he would let the thing go, and then he sued me 2 days later. Can you understand why I was a little bit confused whether or not I was supposed to be making payments?
I didn't forgive the debt. I said, I'll have to deal with it in whatever fashion I have to go.
If you want to go upward, you have to get away from people that are trying to drag you down.
I hope that there's healing for Shad's spirit and our family.
16-year-old Manaz Soleimani and her mother, Mary Safapour, is suing 15-year-old Carrie McAtee and her mother, Kathy. Manaz says Carrie wrecked her car on the way home from a party. She also says Carrie had been smoking pot.
That's case number 61 on the calendar in the matter of Soleimani versus Safapour versus McAtee. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Bird, we have another case of Dumb and Dumber. Dumb and Dumber. The junior ones. What's your name?
Manaz.
And how old are you?
16.
And you?
Carrie.
How old are you?
15.
Did you have permission to take your car out that evening?
No, ma'am.
So you mean you took your mother's car?
My sister's.
How old is your sister?
She is 17.
So you took your sister's car without permission?
Yes, ma'am.
But it wasn't your sister's car because your sister's 17. She can't own a car.
Oh.
So the car belonged to your mother. Yeah. So you took your mother's car without permission?
Yes.
And you went to
I went to pick up Carrie and her friend and then to go to a party.
So you went to a party?
Yes.
Did you have a driver's license?
No, ma'am.
And you went to the party?
Yes.
And you were with her?
I was at her house before we left for the party, and we both went and picked up another friend.
And while you were at the party, you were drinking?
Yes.
What were you drinking?
Alcohol.
Got where we're going?
Oh, I'm already there.
And you had too much to drink, so it was time to leave?
No, the cops came.
Cops came. Police came. Now, this party, was it someone's home?
Yes.
A boy or a girl?
A boy.
Let me guess, his parents weren't home?
Yeah, yes, they were.
They were home. Why did the police show up at the party?
Because everyone was smoking and drinking and...
Smoking what?
Weed.
Smoking marijuana?
Yes.
Where were the parents when this was going on?
The mom was home buying the alcohol for kids, and I don't know where was the dad, but I know the mom was home.
Now, was Carrie smoking marijuana?
Yes.
Were you?
Yes.
Honest. So the police were called, the police were coming, and then it was time for you to leave. You didn't want to drive home because you had too much to drink?
Yes.
So Carrie drove home?
Yes.
But on the way home, she hit a car.
Yeah.
And that's what this case is about, because you feel as if it's appropriate for Carrie and or her mother to pay for half of the damage to both your car and the car that was hit.
Exactly.
And Carrie's mother says,
no.
Why?
Because I was misled at the time. I had had several conversations with Mary before these two went to this party. They'd only been friends for a few weeks.
Which one's Mary?
Mary is a mother.
Okay.
Because we were both concerned about what our daughters were getting into in their recent behavior. I was fully led to believe that Naz was a licensed driver. Several times she drove my child home from school. They both went to a party in another town.
Who let you?
Mary herself told me what a good driver Naz was.
Let's talk about the 29th of December.
Well, I'm believing that Naz is a licensed driver, so I agreed to pay for half of the deductible.
Just a second. Let's look at the objective data. This young lady has told me that without permission, she took her sister's car, who's 17, so it's really her mother's car, without permission.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your daughter knows that she doesn't have a license, correct?
Correct.
Your daughter knows that it's against the law to smoke marijuana. Is that correct?
Correct.
Your daughter knows that she should not have gotten behind the wheel of a car to drive.
Correct. Correct.
And your daughter was the one who was driving while under the influence of a controlled substance when she hit a car.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Correct.
And if what you're telling me is you do not believe that she bears at least partial responsibility, I would like you to explain why.
I do believe she is responsible for what is not covered and paid for by the insurance policy on the vehicle by the owner.
Okay. Now let me explain something to you, madam. She is not obligated, first of all, to put this claim through her insurance. Even if she did, it is more than likely that they would disclaim on the policy because the person who drove the car was not a licensed driver.
Well, Your Honor, I don't mean to interrupt you. She needs to take better control of her own daughters. And had I not been misled by her in the beginning about Naz having her own driver's license, not carrying her sister's in her wallet, this relationship would have ended long before that. My daughter would not have been in that party or that car.
Are you... Listen, get your head out from where it shouldn't be. Your daughter would have been there. If you think that your daughter wouldn't have been at a party smoking your daughter wasn't smoking marijuana because she let them use the car. Your daughter's 15 years old. I would be more concerned with my 15-year-old daughter going to a party where the police had to be called to break up the party where there was marijuana being smoked and alcohol being served than I would over the responsibility to pay for half the damage that she did to the car. So we have dumb, dumber, and dumber. Okay.
Can you do me a favor?
What?
Can I have a copy of this?
Yeah, you want to show it to someone?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Good. Let me see the estimates on the damage to the car, please.
This is the estimate of the other parts of the car.
Okay.
This is the check that I paid, and this is the estimate of my car.
Okay.
And
May I have it, please?
Pictures.
What?
You have some pictures.
I don't need pictures. I got the picture. What do you want to do with the tape of this? Tell me what you want to do with it.
Your Honor, I have teenage children.
Yeah.
Uh,
Got it. I got
and
it.
teenage nieces and nephews. I
got
want
it.
them to see this one.
I got it. Stupid people.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. 16-year-old Manaz Soleimani says her former friend, 15-year-old Carrie McAtee, wrecked her car. Manaz says Carrie had been smoking pot.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I say something?
No, you said enough. You don't want to appear any more stupid than you already appear. Now, let's get to you. You got to keep better control of your daughter.
That's right.
You understand that?
Yes.
Your 16-year-old daughter and your 17-year-old daughter shouldn't have a car.
She has her driver license, my older one.
And this one?
No, this one has...
This one!
Yes. I already told Naz not to hang out with Kathy.
Just a second. I'm talking about allowing her to use a car.
Yes, you're right.
You've done that.
No, I didn't let her to drive the car.
Are you telling me that you've never allowed her to drive the car before?
Alone, no. Never alone. Just
with whom?
With me. Because she has her permit.
She has a learner's permit?
Yes. So she never, that's why they drive. Miriam gives both of them a ride to a school.
Listen to me very carefully. Something's not happening right with this car. So I wouldn't let either one of them use it. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's up to you. She's half responsible for the damage she did to the car. She was under the influence of drugs. She shouldn't have gotten behind the wheel. She shouldn't have been using the drugs to begin with. She knew she had no license. She's responsible for half the damage that she caused. But I'm telling you
That's right.
that you better keep better control of your daughter. because your daughter is out of control. Because not only was she smoking marijuana that night, she was also using alcohol, and she was in no condition to drive, which is what put her behind the wheel in the first place. Do you understand?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,425.50. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I do believe that we were partially responsible.
Both of the girls did something stupid, and both of them are responsible for this.
She's lucky that my daughter was not injured.
She never drove by herself. I always drive her to school, and everyone knows.
She had been drinking like straight Bacardi and had been smoking.
I got grounded. My mom took away all my stuff.
I hadn't been smoking as much as either of the girls.
Parents should be more careful because drinking is free.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a deep dive into one of the most popular SUVs on the market, the all-new 2025 Toyota RAV4. Whether you're someone looking for a reliable daily driver, a family vehicle, or something that can handle a weekend getaway, the RAV4 has always been a go-to choice. And with this 2025 refresh, Toyota is giving us even more reasons to consider it. Let's walk through what's new, what stands out, and whether this SUV is really worth your money. Right out of the gate, the exterior styling feels more confident and modern. Toyota has slightly reworked the front grille, making it wider and more aggressive looking while still keeping it approachable. The LED headlights have been slimmed down for a sleeker profile, and the new daytime running lights now come standard on all models. These small tweaks make a big difference in terms of road presence. The rear also gets a slight update with redesigned taillights and a new bumper that looks both sporty and practical. Overall, it's not a dramatic redesign, but it's enough to give the RAV4 a sharper, more polished look without losing the identity people love. You'll notice that the side profile still carries those bold, squared-off wheel arches and strong character lines running from front to back. Depending on which trim you choose, you'll see different finishes and wheel sizes ranging from 17 to 19 inches. For example, the Adventure and TRD off-road trims offer higher ground clearance and more rugged design elements like black body cladding and roof rails, which are perfect if you're planning to hit the trail. Now, let's talk about what you'll experience inside. The interior of the 2025 RAV4 has taken a noticeable step up in both design and materials. Toyota has added more soft-touch surfaces throughout the cabin, especially on the dashboard and door panels, and they've improved the seat cushioning for better long-distance comfort. There's also an updated interior color palette, with earthy tones and subtle textures that make the cabin feel warm and inviting. One of the big tech upgrades this year is the new 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster that replaces the traditional analog dials in higher trims. It's fully customizable and displays everything from your speed and fuel efficiency to navigation prompts and safety alerts. In the center console, you'll find either an 8-inch or an optional 10.5-inch infotainment touchscreen, depending on the trim. It's responsive, easy to use, and supports wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Toyota has also included a new voice-activated assistant, letting you control climate, media, and even the sunroof just by saying, "Hey Toyota." Pretty cool, right? Wireless charging is now standard on most trims, and you'll find multiple USB-C ports for both front and rear passengers. The limited trim even offers ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, and a panoramic moonroof that really opens up the cabin. For those of you who enjoy your music on the go, the upgraded JBL Premium Sound System delivers clear, deep audio, whether you're blasting your favorite playlist or catching up on podcasts during your commute. Let's talk performance. Toyota is continuing to offer multiple powertrain options, giving buyers more flexibility depending on their needs. The base models still come with the tried-and-true 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine, producing 203 horsepower and mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's not a rocket ship, but it's plenty for city driving and highway cruising, and you can expect around 30 miles per gallon combined. If fuel efficiency is a top priority for you, the hybrid versions are where things get exciting. The RAV4 hybrid pairs that same 2.5-liter engine with electric motors for a total output of 219 horsepower. It's smoother, more responsive, and gets up to 41 miles per gallon in the city, which is amazing for an SUV this size. Plus, all-wheel drive comes standard on all hybrid models thanks to the rear-mounted electric motor, so it's great for slippery roads or light off-road trails. Then there's the RAV4 Prime, the plug-in hybrid model. It's the most powerful and the most high-tech version available. With 302 horsepower, it can go from 0 to 60 in under 6 seconds, making it one of the quickest vehicles in its class. But what's even more impressive is that it offers up to 42 miles of electric-only driving range. That means if your commute is relatively short, you can go days, even weeks, without using any gas at all. And when you do need to refuel, you've still got the full hybrid system backing you up. Driving the 2025 RAV4 feels composed and confident. The suspension has been slightly retuned this year for a more balanced ride. Firm enough for decent handling, yet soft enough to soak up rough pavement. The cabin remains quiet, even at highway speeds, thanks to improved insulation and sound-deadening materials. Steering is light but precise, making it easy to maneuver in tight spots or parking lots. There are also selectable drive modes like Eco for maximum efficiency, Sport for a little extra punch, and Trail mode for better traction when you're off the beaten path. When it comes to safety, Toyota continues to set the standard. Every 2025 RAV4 comes equipped with Toyota Safety Sense 3.0. That means you get adaptive cruise control that works even in stop-and-go traffic, lane departure alert with steering assist, lane tracing assist to help keep you centered, and a pre-collision system that can detect pedestrians and cyclists. There's also blind spot monitoring, rear cross-traffic alert, a 360-degree camera system in higher trims, and a new feature called Proactive Driving Assist that gently applies brakes and steering when navigating curves or slow traffic to make driving feel more natural and less tiring. The RAV4 lineup is wide and varied, so there's something for everyone. The LE and XLE trims are great if you want value and efficiency without all the extras. The XSE Hybrid and RAV4 Prime cater to buyers who want both performance and green credentials. Then there's a rugged TRD off-road model for those who need something more adventure-ready, with enhanced suspension, skid plates, and all-terrain tires. And of course, the limited trim offers a more premium experience with extra tech and comfort features. Pricing starts at around $30,000 for the base model and can go north of $47,000 for a fully loaded Prime. But considering what you're getting in terms of tech, efficiency, and reliability, it's a solid investment. So, is the 2025 Toyota RAV4 worth your consideration? Without a doubt. Toyota has taken what was already a bestseller and made it even better. You're getting modern styling, smart interior upgrades, fuel-efficient powertrains, and a suite of advanced safety features, all wrapped in a package that's practical, dependable, and fun to drive. Whether you're a solo driver, a growing family, or someone looking to cut back on fuel costs, the RAV4 continues to be one of the most well-rounded SUVs on the market. Thanks for sticking around. If you found this review helpful, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe for more in-depth car content.